in NHS care in what's being branded a national scandal. The mother of Nottingham knife attack victim Barnaby Webber speaks of her disappointment in the legal system as a special review is announced into the care received by his killer.
I feel now, with hindsight, that I was foolish to just trust in our legal system. I hate to say that because I do feel let down.
And the lunar Lazarus, Japan's moonlander, wakes up and begins operating after the rockiest of starts to its mission. A very good morning to you. We start with breaking news, and West Yorkshire Police are urgently appealing for the mother of a newborn baby who was found dead in a pub in Leeds yesterday to come forward. Emergency services were called to the Three Horseshoes pub in Alton in the southeast of the city yesterday afternoon after the newborn baby girl was discovered in the toilet area. Police are urging the mother to contact them or seek medical help. We'll have the latest from our correspondent on the scene shortly. Our other top story today, President Biden has said America will respond after 3 US soldiers were killed and dozens injured in a drone attack on a US service base in Jordan. An Iranian-backed militant group have claimed responsibility for the attack, but Iranian media reports the country had no link to the strike. The Foreign Secretary, Lord Cameron, has called on Iran to de-escalate tensions across the region. Well, officials said the drone struck a base identified as an installation known as Tower 22. The small installation, which Jordan does not publicly disclose, includes US engineering, aviation, logistics and security troops. It's along the Syrian border with Jordan and largely used by troops involved in the advice and assist mission for Jordanian forces. The US military base at Al Tanf in Syria is just 12 miles north of Tower 22.
And that's because all those times were all through those small soldiers. And we shall respond.
Our Middle East correspondent Alistair Bunkle has the latest for us.
Well, I think firstly the Americans have to establish precisely who was behind it. Was it, well, it looks as though it was almost certainly an Iranian proxy of sorts, but the question is how much involvement did Iran itself have, if at all? And so I think once they can establish that, then they can try and work out what kind of response they should be giving. Now, would they therefore respond at the group who was behind this? Probably factions of something called the Islamic Resistance in Iraq, perhaps take out some senior commanders, for example. Or do they believe that Iran had a greater involvement and therefore the response should be targeted more at Iran or things like the Revolutionary Guard? The third option is that they might just lose patience with what is going on around the region, the Red Sea, Houthi attacks, the fact that many of their troops in Iraq have been attacked multiple times over the last few months, and now this, and decide to send a clear message to Iran regardless of whether or not they think Iran was directly involved in this attack.
Justice further, military analyst Sean Bell joins me here on set. Sean, good morning to you. Great to see you again. So pressure on President Biden, of course, to respond. What are the sort of scale of options here?
Yeah, it's good morning, Wilf. US intelligence will always be keeping a master target list of the sort of targets they want to strike, and that would often be leadership of some of these small groups. But the danger up till now is that there's a risk when you target individuals, there may be collateral damage around them. What will be these events, though, will adjust America's tolerance for risk and will be more comfortable if there are more people, bluntly, who die around these leadership than otherwise. Now, of course, the spectrum of options available to a superpower go from the carrier groups bristling with aircraft F-18s. They've also got, obviously, Tomahawk cruise missiles. They've also got submarines launched with the same thing, and a lot of US special forces undoubtedly operating in the region. But to date, there's been no appetite for escalating this conflict. All the political language has been saying the same, but that language has changed. And certainly in the US at the moment, in an election year, President Trump is blaming Biden for, former President Trump, for blaming Biden for the situation we find ourselves. Even the US senators are baying for blood, asking for a firm response to show that Biden's strong. So Biden has come out at the moment. He's got himself in a bit of a corner as saying that it'll be a strong response, but a time and place of his choosing.
But just to state the obvious, a strong response expected still to be towards the specific militant group that may well have Iranian backing, even if the foreign minister is saying they had no